victory. No quarter given, but T24 is the price they pay. The rest of Wolves, though, on the back lines will not be able to find the angle to go for the flush. Noki stepping forwards, burning Batten out of position. IQ humbled slightly on that peak, but will be able to get some healing done as the reses start to come through. This is Inner Circle's time to turn it around, but Batten again layering down these nades. A response from Falak keeps his team safe. Time and time again, he's coming in clutch, and this is no different.
Ego's very slow on the uptake here. Finally moves a position. It's a long nade. Will get a lot of damage done, but he needs more than just that. And Falak once again with another strong shot will step up, takes him down, and that will be in a circle as 4. This spot is really nice to hold, and teams desire it. As we just saw from 2 squads trying to go for it. I understand what Wolves are trying to do is play the split down towards the west side, but you absolutely have to play as a 3-man in this ditch and just give up the angle.
Ooh. What a nasty little roll up here for D+. Nolbu on the ridge line in the smoke with a big nade. Does so much damage to them. There is an answer, but Nolbu still has got all of the solutions for them. And it's IC getting rolled down. Nolbu! Oh my goodness me. What a play coming through from Nolbu on D+. That hilltop is not safe for anyone. And how on earth do you find that? Nolbu standing head and shoulders over the lobby. A madman, magnificent, resplendent, glorious.
I mean, they're still even taking shots towards Reject. Reject to go Del Saras down. Divine's knock, chips with a long-range angle as per usual. Nolbu might even smile after this game. We may get treated to the rare Nolbu grin.
Oh dear, all toothsome and tricky. As Reject cut down to size, the Falcons are still here, Blank, and they do have 3. They do have this hilltop. I feel like if I was a betting man, I would put money on Falcons. But unfortunately, I'm not. So it's staying in my pocket right now. Well, yeah, actually, you know what? You know what? Actually, after what we just saw, it's all on Nolbu, baby. Let's go.
Oh, my days. It's so unreal. Oh, it just takes a little bit of a warm-up for South Korea, apparently. That's all it is. Dear me. I wish we saw more international tournaments with the South Korean squads. They are so damn good. And it does just take a little while, but they learn so much from these lobbies as well. And they get a bit of a reset through the year. And they come back stronger than ever.
I mean, talk about shirking the day 1 blues. They were cloaked in glory in London last year. And now it's all a flourish for D+. Probably with 6 elims. This really is the man of the hour. He's got MVP of this game on lockdown right now. They've got 11 nades, Blank, and 6 smokes. They are in a pretty solid spot in terms of utility. And the circle not really putting too much pressure on them right now. It's up to Reject's duo to move, and it's likely they go south, over towards the Falcons angle, a little bit closer.
Well, with P90, it's a pretty slow game though right now from everyone involved. What makes sense for D+ considering they got 2. 2v3 is not out of the question, just requires to get that first knock on board. And honestly, so far, they haven't been majorly impressed with the gunfights coming through from the Falcons. This game looks a lot better though. I think that despite everything, and this is more praise, but for a singular player in Narvalo, is that I think that Falcons, I've got to be really proud of this guy because he is doing such an unbelievable amount of work for the team, and also over many years of play. Narvalo has been insane. I think over the past maybe year or so, he has been returning to his full form, to his final form at least, because I think back in the day he was insane. He had a little bit of a drop off, but I think he has a lot more hunger for the game again now.
That's lovely to see. He's not smiling right now, but you can be sure that that blood is pumping. You don't pull off a play like that and not feel it a little bit. Hopefully the adrenaline drop off here in stage 8 isn't going to be too bad for him. Got to keep the focus. Drop of the smoke train. Knows that Reject have moved up. and he's using that smoke train just to get over this ridgeline. Knows he would be exposed otherwise.
Big thing
take
for
a single team approach.
Big thing for D+ here is that they got a massive resupply. Right, there was so many teams that fell down that ditch. So you have all the nades that you could ever want. You've got all the smokes you could ever want. You can see here that Falcons actually has less nades on 4 players than D+ have on 2.
There's more in the boxes as well. Let's sit around them, right? Even if they throw them out, doesn't mean they've only got 11 to play with. It's just a question of what they could fit in their backpacks right now. D+ moving in. Chips scouting around, still having vehicles here is pretty powerful stuff. The Falcon smoke has been thrown on out. Reject looking to hop into the buggy. Koa still watching this run out. Reiji not going to use the buggy. It's a little bit low on HP. And actually, how has he just done that? Okay. Oh, no blue down. Okay, maybe that's go time. Falcons, move in. Get something done. Try and take some presence. Redox, nade over the top. Chips, dropping the smokes. They've got so many to play with. Now's the time to use them. That nade looks good. The bounce is on. It's just short. Doesn't quite tag the flush. Just behind the vehicle. Nades are coming at them from both angles. They get the res, but it's immediately re-knocked. Chips needs to get out of there. Needs to get out of there now. Nolbu, he's going to be taken away. And everybody's descending. The Falcons rolling over the hilltop. Maybe D+ are down, but the nades are hitting Reject as well. Chips is clocked. And it's D+ down in 3rd. Apollo against 3. And Falcons are able to find a chicken dinner. The main story, though, Blank, was Nolbu that game. A pretty decent chicken dinner for Falcons, all things considered. They played that south side well. My money gets returned to me, Blank.
It does.
Goodness me. It's, I mean, it really was that north side hill and Nolbu, the headline. A magnificent play coming through from the South Koreans.
Yeah, incredible stuff, honestly. I think for the Falcons, you're very, very happy with the way that one played out, and it does see them a lot safer in this tournament too. But I think the Falcons, it's just nice seeing 3 of them towards that end game. Also, not an easy rotate, and I think Ralph has definitely spoken before about how those early to mid game rotates are quite difficult for them. This time, I think they identified some very strong portions of the map. They played it well, and as a 3, we can see they can still succeed. They can succeed as a 4-man as well. But for Nolbu, a warrior soul from Seoul in South Korea. Incredible stuff. Just cannot wait to see what the guys have to say about that.
And the Falcons get their first chicken dinner here for Group Green, and it couldn't have been a better time. And I'll tell you what, it was on a toxic military hardship to the north. These guys got to be feeling so great here, Max.
And you could see when the circle popped on phase 1, all the teams being, okay, I guess we'll have to rotate early across the bridge. But Falcons here really want to highlight, sure, they didn't do too much rotationally speaking, right? They were just kind of idle a big portion of this game. But this is why you hold on to your bloody utility until the last circle. Yes. Because you can just use it and just bully teams. And Redox uses that buggy perfectly to get that elimination. But you just bully teams, and those nades were so pinpoint accurate, Niptura. The D+ and Reject couldn't do anything but get pushed against the blue even further. That was such a good use of utility for Falcons, and finally, we are seeing a Falcons win, hopefully the first of many.
It's about time to see them at the beginning of the match go all in one vehicle, which is questionable, to winning the whole thing. I love seeing that arc coming in from Falcons. And to go back to your point, yes, the utilities were amazing. They were pinpoint. They were great. But it was backed up with the timing of a lifetime. As soon as they saw that Elam feed light up with D+ Kia, they went, now is our time. Let's go. Nades at the ready. Just immense pressure onto both of those teams. They could do nothing about it, Max.
Yeah, it was a tough one, definitely for sure at the end. But yeah, you said it. The timing was on point to go through the replays here of this game. But you know what? We're talking about Falcons a lot here, Niptura. We need to... that was the 4-man car rotation. We need to talk about D+'s timing. This game, those Eastern fights, they would just pick and choose what they wanted to do, how they wanted to execute it, when they wanted to execute it. D+, man, after day one, there was a bad day. They've been on an absolute killing spree, and once again doing it today on this Erangel match.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that. I love seeing that so much. And what I love about that as well, Jukes, right, is like the team, they not only decided when they were going to do stuff, they also decided when other teams were going to do stuff, right? Rejects tried to push up on them and they went, no, now's not your time. We say no, go back to your compound. No, not allowed. And that's exactly how it happened. So that control of teams is just great from them.
I mean, they showed us why they are your previous champions here. They didn't mess around in this match for sure. We saw that push from IC onto the Wolves. By the way, Wolves, I think they could have had this match if they would have played it a little bit more aggressive once they got that position rather than playing it passive. But no, IC pushed on them. Once they heard that fight ring out, we saw DK, you know, do a beautiful wrap. And oh my gosh, that knock from Nobu was ridiculous. But yeah, let's see these rotations here, Max, man, from a beautiful military circle. These are some of my favorite to watch.
Yeah, and you're going to be seeing Falcons and Reject just like, oh, okay, phase one circle, military, just cross very early on, and you don't have to do too much movement. Even though Falcons did hug that southern coastal line for a big portion of this game, they do eventually center up very, very rapidly. But I want you to pay attention to D+. They were pretty center on phase one going into phase two. And then they're like, we don't really want to be center of the circle here because there's going to be a lot of attention thrown our way. So we're just going to hug the eastern side instead. And by doing so, they open up opportunities for them to look at fights break out and third party, or in this case, what we just saw here, they leapfrog the fight of, I believe it was Orangutan versus Chamba Niptura. And those leapfrogs and third parties and the timing of those fights were paramount for them to get into the late game and have an opportunity to get on that podium finish. D+ here showing some S+ tier gameplay, in my opinion.
Yeah, really, really did. I love seeing that from them. That leapfrog against Tiamba was just insane. Again, the timing coming through from them is really, really nice. And it is going to be reflected in the points, right? Tiamba gets 6 points, but D+ Kia get 10 more. 16 points on the board for them, and Falcons getting 19. Just one shy of that 20-point gain they were probably looking for. But hey, 1 point isn't going to be the end of the world this early on in the day. And honestly, it's so nice to see them try and step it up in the final day. A little bit too late, but not too late, right? It's late, but not too late. They still have time to make it work for them.
I'm a bit scared for GS team, to be honest, right now. They were currently the cutoff team, right? 12th position. Not seeing too much presence here, and they're going to be slipping, especially when you've seen teams like Reject, Hodrix that are initiating a bit of a comeback, especially on this previous Erangel game. It's not boding well for them, so we'll have to see how that goes. As Novalo, the Frenchie, yes! Woo! MVP of the game. Let's go. Now, this is the Novalo that I know and love in these matches.
Oh man, that's what we've been waiting to see it for sure, right? I mean, we're waiting for that Team Falcons win. I'm so happy they got it now. And honestly, I'm gonna say this, right? I think that they realized, they had to have known that it was D+ on that hill for sure. And once they saw that knock, I like that both teams were like, no. This is the team we gotta take out right here, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that we need these points so bad. And man, do the Falcons get it? They had 68 points before this match. That jumps them up to 8th place with 90. But you are right, Max, man. Look at all the way at the bottom right there. GS, right, weren't able to put up any points. 66 in total. It's looking pretty dangerous. Well, they put up a few points, right? They put up a few, but not enough.
It's not enough for right now. Currently, they're going to be 8 points behind Loops without a single chicken dinner, so kind of rough for GS team, though. It did impress quite a bit. I was enjoying some of the plays from Jafar in particular during the Gauntlet stage. They've not been able to replicate that to a similar extent so far in Group Green, though. Reject, they started off the day, they're 38 points, right, Niptura? Here, jumping up to 51. They are 8-1. 2 good games. They could possibly put in the middle of the rankings where they could move on into the last chance. So Reject, we need to see this kind of momentum build up for the rest of the day.
We need to see a win.
If they falter here, there might just not be enough games for them to make that comeback happen.
They need to win. I'm going to say it up 100%.
Okay.
Like right here, right now, or it's done in my eyes. Nep, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see them definitely going at least for a top 3 podium finish, like a really strong game, maybe just shy of a win, but hopefully a win in the Miramars. I think they're going to use these Erangels to really just build on that momentum. One thing I do want to point out in these leaderboards is IC making a comeback, right? 4th place, 103 points on the board for them. They're getting pretty close, and you know, they actually had a really good game that game, right? Trying to push up onto the Wolves. They did get that push done well. D+ were actually a little bit late on on their third party, but they were just able to just back it up with immense firepower. But honestly, for me, I see continuing to have a good day today.
I don't know that team name. There's a team called that? I don't know who that is. I will not talk about them. I don't know who that is. Looking at the top 4 players of this game, we do have Narvalo, Fallow, Regio, and then Notable that, in my opinion, would normally be the MVP. The MVP has to be on the winning team, but I think that if we took it purely based on stats, it would have to be Notable because, oh my goodness, Niptura, this guy, I don't know what happened to him this game in particular, but he was a demon. And he would see you would not even survive 5 seconds. You were done. You're out.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He just decided who lived and who went back to the lobby. He was like, no, you're not allowed. You're not a threat right now. I'll deal with you later. And he was just going through the rest of the lobby so methodically. Really love to see that. And hey, you know what? Reggiosio, first time we're seeing a Rejects player on this board. And it's nice to see him second place, 5 eliminations, putting in that work, putting on those points.
Yep, and like I said, they needed them because looking at the difference, right? So in the last game, we saw Loops. They were at the cutoff with 61 points, okay? And RC had 38, all right? So that difference right there is a total of 23, okay? Now Loops have 74, and RC have 51. You know what that is a difference of? 23, right? So they have not progressed at all, right, in order to make it into the last chance stage. So I'm gonna say it again, it's chicken dinner time. I think they extended it to 1 more game, but at least in my eyes, this is the last one for me. What do you think, Max? You think they have another one? Do you really think so?
I think there's still another one. I would say, you know what? Yes, they still have 1 more, mid-game that could happen for them, but after that, it's going to be game over. Halfway point of today, we need to see something come out from these guys.
Ooh, that's bold. That's bold. Neptura, what do you think?
I think that, yeah, I agree honestly with Max that they have a little bit of extra time, but they don't have much.
Well, let's go ahead and take it on over to the stage with 7WG with Falcons and Narvalo.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Narvalo from Team Falcons. Narvalo, great quick rotation from Pachinki to military. And honestly, I want to talk about your gameplay because I feel like your gameplay has improved from day 1 to now the final day. What have you been doing the past 2 days to make sure you can actually perform here on the final day?
I think for this game, like, it was a call, the print path was north, and we said if it's military, we should be first to reach like the island. So it was a call to go quick and go on the left side, no block, as we kinda studied, and then I think we move way faster and with better position. We take better position first and second zone, and that bring us better end games.
You definitely did. Now you're currently, I believe, 17 points away from the top 3. Do you honestly think you can make it to top 3?
Before a game, we could think it's too far, but after this game, we did, I think, more than 17 points. So like, if we just need like 1 more 2 other games like that, and we should be close to the top 3.
Well, Team Falcons, the confidence is back. Let's see if they can make it to top 3. Back to y'all.
Let's go, man. You know what? I totally agree. I think Falcons are absolutely in that range for top 3. I think this could be a big game for them here. I think they could definitely handle a mid game, but it's going to be a chicken dinner coming up from some of them. As a matter of fact, I'll go down to even Gen G. What do you think about that, Max?
Ah, mais je crois que c'est possible que... Oh, wait, I went French mode. French accent. Put me in the French mood. Sorry about that. But no, for them, it could definitely be possible for Gen G. I mean, we saw what they could do in Miramar, right? They got themselves a Rondo also yesterday. Very good game over there. But Miramar is the map that stands out the most to me when it comes to Gen G. But Erangel, hey, if there's any map that we want to see more from Gen G right now, it would be this map. It would be the grassy pastures.
Yeah, it would be. It's what we need to see, especially because, you know, they need the points. They need the points, and they need to go quick because those teams at the bottom, they're still pushing, still going. So honestly, it's not so much Erangel. I think for me, it's like match 3, done deal, needs to be done now.
Let's see if they can do it right now. The last Erangel of the day. Let's take it on over to our casters, John and Blake.
I think, am I going? We've got 1 more, right? After this, we've got 1 more Erangel. We've got 2 more to play, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Match 16 will also be on Erangel, so don't go getting ahead of yourself there, Dukes. I know you want to see who's qualified, but we are going to have to play all of the matches here. Sosnovka Military Base over towards Stalba. It's only fitting we start the play from down here where our last match ended, sending straight over the top of good memories. Well, quite a lot of good memories for Nolbu and the Falcons, and going over towards that Stalba position on the northeast side.
Yeah, it's a bit of an Eastern playing map here, so it's slightly more difficult. It's actually getting tough for me to talk about these games at the moment because there is so much happening. And there's so much to analyze. There's so much to go over. It's pretty tough for me. I mean, for Wolves there in that last game, I really wanted to talk about their position a little bit more just because it is a case of, as that 3-man, you no longer have the power to split off like that. And you sort of have to suffer a little bit where you don't have that angle off towards the western side to watch for approaches, but you have to hold that ditch as a 3-man because it's likely people are going to crash onto you. So this is what I mean by just these small errors in gameplay. Again, hindsight's 2020, and
oh, no.
I'm out here of the observing desk.
Oh no.
the double is insane. Maybe I cursed him. I said I wanted to see it yesterday, give it to us. Oh, fair enough. We'll give you 2 today. Fair play. APG get a nice start. They got immediately over towards Millie Base as we started down there nice and early. The difficulty comes in the fact that this moves away from Millie Base at that playing path. So if this was coming down from Kameshki towards the south, teams that are dropping late could have readjusted on their plane path, on their parachutes down towards Military Base. In this case, it's really only Gen G and GS who get a decent start off the back of this one. So another game potentially for Reject as well as Tiamba, who both start very close to this location and try and lift themselves out, but it's getting very far ahead of them now. It loops with 74 points for 51 and 50 apiece for Reject as well as Tiamba.
I mean, the major difference on this West Bridge is Gen G being here, right? Goat had a pretty free and clear rotate over last time. If Gen G pull up and cause a fight to start here, Falcons, we saw they wanted to rotate fast early. This is the same circle, the same decision. I don't think too many teams will have had time to fully review what happened there, except for maybe Goat on that rotation. They'll know that Falcons move fast. But if they get stuck down in a fight here, the Falcons are going to crash straight into the back of it. This 3-team traffic jam didn't exist in the last. And GS are holding the East Bridge in the meantime, by the way. We'll see just how sticky this spot can be, because Tiamba moving in. This is on the East Bridge now. There is a roadblock. There is the Caltrops set out. They're looking for the backstop player. They're looking to try and disparage them from getting on forwards. Des has to drop down, though, and that's where the backup needs to come through from Jafar. It's there in spades. Buckets of bullets pouring down on the bridge. And now the off angles are brilliant coming on through. There's finally an answer from Tiamba, but it's too little too late. They've lost the majority of their players. Nobody else is pushing in right now on this East Bridge either, Blank. So no chance that GS get run down by a third party.
I think it's one of the few times where I think you just like send it. You just send it if you are Tiamba. The initial shots weren't that great from GS. I think Tiamba respects it a little bit too much. They crashed just directly into the wall before they'd taken barely any damage. I don't know if it was the optimal play there in that instance. Again, it's one of those things where it could have gone either way. Tiamba drops out, they get the first 2 knocks, and then it's easier to play from there. But I think that really hurts Tiamba's chances, and I think they have to take a bit of a gamble on just the straight approach into the zone. Nepturo actually brings up a really good point about Falcons, where if they get another strong game here, potentially is the initial rotations. Now, me and you have been covering PMSL EU for the longest time, John, and we know that the Falcons are some of the slowest to rotate. Because they play Pachinki so much, they already have this central position. I actually think that that position hurts them a lot. It is one of the strongest locations in the map because it is so central, but it's made for this almost stagnant gameplay coming through from Falcons, where they don't make these initial rotates to strong positions. They'd rather play Church on the west side of Pachinki and wait things out if it's a western circle. I think here, because we do go to Sosnovka, it forces Falcons to take risks, to make moves, which they wouldn't necessarily otherwise go for. And they're benefiting from it. which says a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they are now, after that game, very much in with a chance of getting top 3 here as well, Blank, is going to be great news. And they'll love to see a game that they just succeeded on very, very... in a very big way, right? Repeat itself, hopefully. But the second circle on last match was also a big factor. It forced a lot of teams to move to the north side of the island after having tried to rotate around, occupying a lot of the area, a lot of the ground around there. So that was a big factor in the dynamic of that last zone, of that last match. We'll see where we're going to go this time around. But at the moment, Falcons on the south coast with Gen G, who went across the bridge very, very early.
So they scout that out, and they're going to peel back off this one. No reason to try and push this. And they've already scouted out a huge amount of space on the western side. Sadly, this is eastern leaning on the circle, so it could be further over towards where Observatory is. Alpha Gaming actually goes for a different maneuver. You know, they'll take Observatory for themselves, try and get that high ground nice and early. I think for Alpha Gaming, it's almost weird where I think that this team will perform even better than they have here over in the grand finals. I think that sometimes, but there is a sense of boredom that comes through from this team at times where they really do want to get stuck into things. They don't like playing slow. And they are so good at the game. And I think that does create difficulties for them. That's a sad shot. That's a sad shot from the Observer. It's like looking at the beached buggy from Diamba before they fell down. It's like, I was watching a funeral.
Well, you know, you got to celebrate him somehow, I suppose, whatever you can. Papa Supermassive still embroiled in Milter, though, with Loops, who are able to find Tron B. No answer either. A little bit of damage, but, I mean, this should be extricable for Loops. Neither team really wants to stay here for too long, though, Blank. I mean, there is a lot more of the North Island in this circle than in that first match that we saw today on Erangel. So you do have maybe a little bit more time. The circle could also still... it's got maybe like a 10 to 15% chance of going back to the mainland. It's very unlikely, but is technically possible. We'll have to wait and see for that one. So maybe a little bit more time, on average, they could go for it. And especially with the state of this east side bridge, it's maybe actually safer to stay in Milter for the time being.
Yeah, I think so. It's getting very messy around this region. Reject actually get there quite early, so because they were moving so quickly, they passed straight by from the northern beachhead. Could come back to bite them. I think they're trying to control as much area as possible. For OG, it's a long rotate for them down towards the south side. Very difficult stuff to make this one happen, but it's certainly possible. I think maybe potentially going for the western bridge might be a slightly better idea if you are late to this. And there are a lot of teams that play over towards the eastern side. With this being eastern plane path 2, that's most likely the locale that teams are going to be passing through. I think Inner Circle realizes that as well, and they're going to pass over towards the west, which just actually cuts out a lot of teams for them they'll have to go up against. It's Papa Supermassive up against Loops. Loops, the most in danger right now at falling down into the bottom 5 at 75 points, just 5 points clear from GS.
Yeah, it's real rough stuff on that 11th place bubble. Obviously, we're playing in with 2 bubbles on this, Blank. If you were looking at the top 3, we were expecting it to be somewhere around 140. That's what we saw from Gauntlets on the same number of matches. It was 141, I think, and 4th place was 140. So very, very close. Could be around there. Could be a little bit different. So if you're up and over about 150, that's where you start to feel pretty good about yourself, right? That's where you start to feel a lot safer in terms of that top 3. And then we're playing with the 11th place bubble, which is not easy at all as well. And it seems to be very, very closely fought. Probably going to be closer to around that 90-point boundary. So getting up and over 100 sees you a lot more secure into those at least last chance stages.
There are teams now breaking into that as well. Even towards the middle of the pack. I mean, Papa Supermassive is not far off breaking that century. Valo spots out Wolves, who a little bit too close for comfort. I think this should be a pre-Elim, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I think he's stepping too far there. Oh, I was very worried. I think any other team but Reject,
French greed.
Navalo might have gone down there.
He wants those points, man. He wants to bump himself up in the tables.
Fair.
I respect him for it. But you are right. I think that what you said at the start of the game is very pertinent here, where Falcons actually are in with the running now. I think there's only one spot up for grabs, personally. I don't see D+ putting on the brakes anytime soon. I think Alpha Gaming have done more than enough this tournament. I think personally, if you're an Alpha Gaming fan and you're looking how they're playing today, it might not look flashy, but they're playing slow because they just want to get regular points, consistent points. And that's even if they just play like this, there is going to be a game today where Alpha Gaming has a strong position and they win from it because they can. And I think that will see Alpha Gaming through towards the grand finals, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it as well. I think Top in particular, you know, having a wife and 3 kids and a kid, right? It's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to juggle, but it just shows that even at 26, like, you can still perform extremely well as long as you have the grind on. It's incredible.
Well, Loops have been on the grind here for a while, trying to get on into the zone, but I've had to go all the way to the west side, and OG might draw them short here. Lots of damage already felt by both of these teams by the blue zone. We're into stage 3, so it's non-trivial to deal with. Nilzada, a nade in. Oh, shotgun shut down there on a tanky. I don't think that's going to be resable, but there's the off angle they were looking for. I think did that come through from Aru? No, it's the burn coming through from a tanky with that Molotov. And both teams are going to start to lose players. I think disengaging, if you can, is fairly wise at this stage. OG going to try and make a run for it. Loops maybe actually getting this res here. It is still resable for just a moment longer. We'll see if they can make it work. And yeah, OG, off they go on their bike or buggy or whatever they can find.
It's a very, very tough approach here for OG. And again, this is what I meant earlier, where I think this Western Bridge is probably the more wise decision. It takes a while to get here, but OG definitely make it. They're going to take a quick scout over the bridge, quick reset on the meds, but there's no one waiting here. Why is Alter Ego still on the north side?
The analyst chat is lighting up with it.
Worried? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that it seems like they're very worried about what's going on the other end of things. Again, it is hard to scout that far across. And I think that they have seen multiple times that teams have been held out in this location. Come on.
They're still not going for it.
You got to make the cross at some point. I am worried that what they're going to do is they're going to go for the swim. In which case they give up a lot of vehicles.
They're just refueling. Don't worry. They just stopped off for snacks. That's what it is. Alva was hungry, guys. It's all just an aid of a full stomach. Can't be taking gunfights on an empty stomach.
Come on, we're getting to stage 4. And 9Z is coming in behind them right now.
Maybe they're not waiting. Maybe they're the ones bridge camping.
Maybe. Come on.
I mean, that's the
time
only
to
thing
go now. It's time to go now. Thank you. Thank you.
You can't get yourself picked back up after this stage as well, so very dangerous to stay out this long.
Very much a situation of AE there yet. Slightly bit more of a tongue twist than I thought that was going to be.
It's 2 letters, mate.
But they've got a cross. They have got a cross. Circle back over towards D+. Over on this north side, playing the hilltop. I think this is a messy circle. It's a very messy circle where you're over towards Millie base as well. We are cutting in a little bit of airstrip, which isn't too comfortable to play in. I think Wolves want to get out of that area as soon as possible. Great shots from Alpha Gaming, though. Goodness me.
Ooh, okay. Shots down towards Alter Ego. They'll need to pick these reses up as fast as they can to get onto this next zone. D+ ahead of them to their west. You've got 9Z who actually rather shockingly just sent straight on through, but straight into Reject. Already they're getting torn to pieces. Reject very happy to see some points delivered to them. The question is, can they find the shots? Can they find those shutdowns? There's only one left on the inside. I don't think it's going to last too long here. Reject looking for the last player on the end. A rotate in. Comes through as we see a crash from Team Secret. They're still alive, by the way, in the picture-in-picture on the north side, actually, towards Loops, who might be in a bit of trouble. Can't quite find their way in here. As Milos is just trying to hide in the corner. This is pretty nasty. I mean, step out. This is a shotgun. This is a shotgun bonanza. If he steps out at the right time, there's one. Looks for the next as well. Gets the flush. That's huge. Has to go for the reload though, and now Reject are on the revenge path. They lose one player, but they do shut him down.
Oh, that's disappointing, man. You know, it's just one guy in there, just re-peek. I suppose that they did set up the compound quite well in terms of the two monster trucks denying the entry towards the window. So if they get crashed on, that's how they defend versus 9C. But that is a situation where you should be able to hold out as 4 and just refrag onto the player. The fact they lose one there is really bad. From a central position like this, it's really not good. I also think that there is something to be said here about 9Z, where although, you know, they're on 87 points, they've had some good games, there is a lot of impatience from this squad. If they can't find a good position early into the match, they will just send it. And oftentimes, they will just find themselves in really sticky spots on the map.
I mean, to be fair, you don't expect the team to be bridge camping you on the east in that scenario, right? Like, it may be really confuse them, but that's the sort of thing, I guess, you also can't afford to be able to get confused in a scenario.
I mean,
like
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sending center.
Oh yeah, but like
Reject.
after that, you're like, oh, we got to go. There's obviously a big roadblock ahead of us. We've just got to go for a mad dash,
You
right?
can also
Like,
just play on the edge.
You must assume if there's a team still on that bridge, that there are teams ahead of them, right? So you assume that the ground in front of them is very, very full. I'm really trying to give them as much leeway as possible here, and I will admit, maybe I shouldn't. Papram Supermassive, though, down to their last player against Loops, and they're not having a good time of it. That is going to be Papra Supermassive eliminated, and Loops are up to 9 elims, Blank. You said they were the team that's most in danger of dropping down. Well, they are certainly acting like it.
Yeah, and again, the more points that Loops gets in this match, the harder life becomes for a lot of our teams underneath. I mean, for Reject and Tiamba, I think Tiamba, it's done now. I think it is done. I think for Tiamba, it is almost impossible for them to get back up towards that top side. Genji looking to head over towards GS, who are also chasing. I think GS are also struggling, but likely will retain a place.
Oh, Falcons. They're moving in. I think Redox
inside the bottom 5.
Quick has to hit the deck. Falcons know exactly where he is. That'll be pinged out on the vehicles, but they are pulling back a little bit. Icon taken down. That is the last player of GS, and that is APG rocking up to this one as well. The Falcons on the far side really causing some hurt, some pain there. So they're up to 5 elims. APG as well, looking to tip themselves up and over. They've broken that barrier that we were talking about. They're over 140 now, and they want one more at least. Dammy under pressure from these nades. Has to reposition with the Falcons flying into that far hillside as well. He's not going to last too much longer. Up to 142, and the placements are going to kick in soon as well.
Yeah, for Alpha, all this is right about now is just not giving up first place. The jump up in prize pool between second and first place is quite a lot in most PUBG Mobile tournaments. We still reward our top 3 very handsomely, but it's usually first place who does take the biggest cut of the prize. And I think that, to be fair, for Alpha, they were playing it fairly slow because they knew that they were holding on to first place. But as soon as D+ started turning up the heat, they knew they needed to get a little bit of a game in. And this one's been good. I mean, even taking the opportunity to move over towards Observatory, that's very unlike Alpha Gaming. Okay, takes Krypton along with him in the vehicle. I think that, you know what I would quite like to know is how many vehicle eliminations Docs had this group green. I think we're up to 6 or 7 now at this point, which is more than I think we've ever had in any one tournament.
Oh dear. He is certainly a terror behind the wheel. Whoever gave him a driving license, I'm sure they're regretting that one. As we take a look over towards the rest of this game, though, teams are starting to fall fairly quickly now, Blank. The hilltops to the north, being fairly convincingly under control by D+. It's Inner Circle. Again, that fight for the top spots here. Third place, very, very closely fought between Goat and Inner Circle. Losing players here would be nasty. They've already taken a lot of damage, and as D+, they're up against Osal has the off angle, and Goat are taking shots as well. Oh no, Inner Circle having a really bad time, but they've still got Falak. What can he do here? Favian close by, but backing off to find chips on the res.
D+. Chips goes down. Nade over the top towards Falak. Does get a lot of damage done. Favian over towards Falak. We'll find it. So that's Inner Circle taking a lot of damage. This should be able to hit the chips back up. It's nice to see.
This is really Reject's game right now with one player from Inner Circle to fall down. It's D+ with a central position. It's kind of D+ versus Reject again, Blank. In this circle, the southeast side that we see on the picture-in-picture is APG versus Falcons. D24 is going to give it a good go. Does find Nolbu, but going to get taken down in response. And yeah, that's going to get flushed out. IQ is actually still alive in all of this. He did manage to get out of that fight. I am still focused, though, on this fight on the southeast side as we zap on over to it. Falcons with 4, APG with 4 as well. Haven't really been able to find success on either front of that, and APG disengage. They're moving up to the hills to the north and maybe look at a fight D+.
I think for D+, try this fight between D+ and Alpha Gaming, which probably will break out towards the end here, will be the fight of the day. Very excited to see this one happen. Falcons need to break wide, though. Currently, Zhol is holding this spot. For the Falcons, we did speak about this at the start of the game, that there is a big chance to jump up above Inner Circle, above Goat into that top position. And honestly, if we get Alpha Gaming, D+, Falcons in the top 3, whew, what a lineup that will be going through to the grand finals. It'll be unreal.
I mean, I don't think going into today anyone would have called Falcons with a chance.
But this last day, it's the last day always. It's always the last day for the Falcons.
It does seem to be, doesn't it? There's something about it. They have a potent resurgence built within them. Built different somehow.
It's curious as well, because usually Alpha Gaming's like the team that is the last day champions, where in that final day, Alpha Gaming is known to put up a disgusting performance. But right now, they are taking 2 knocks straight away. Falcons equally are suffering versus the Wolves. Just Doran here, actually.
Oh, no. What?
No way!
Yeah, top 3, the Falcons, APG, TK. Oh, yes. Hang on a minute. Doran? You can't be doing that.
Close the Doran door right in the face. Oh. I'm sorry I didn't give that too much fanfare. It honestly, it felt like, oh, okay, he's going to get 1, he's going to get 2, and then Falcons will clean this up, surely. Surely. You do not see 1v4s in International. I cannot believe Doran pulled that off.
I mean, blink and you miss it, right? Doran was... Oh my God. Okay. Well, Wolves, again, not really probably going to get too much out of this game, but certainly ruin it for the Falcons. The decision to crash onto Doran for the Falcons, though, might be an interesting one here, Blank. It feels like...
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Crash that way on the east. Also, if they do that, Reject have sight lines. I think you don't see many players, if at all, over towards the silos. So you just send it and you get soloed. I don't think the decision making was poor. I think the gunfight was terrible, but the decision making, I don't think there was an issue of it.
I mean, we need a replay of that at some point. Hopefully the desk will have that locked down, because Doran's going off right now. Maybe he's going to do it again. He's got a lot of smoke to play around. He's going to get up to the wall. Reject don't want to let him cross, but they don't really have too many options right now with the smoke cover.
I do like for Doran, he's now just using the entirety of Falcon's utility to cross 20 meters.
Oh, dear.
I'll show you guys how to use util.
Oh my god. Doran. Reject's like, where's he getting all these smokes from? What?
Why
Is it more than one dude? What's going on?
some kind of nimbus cloud off in the distance?
Oh dear. Well, he's made it to the wall.
Great job. We did it.
That's so many smokes. That's insane. OG getting found on their last player. That's Goat to pick it up. Goat have been down on the belt buckles for a while as well, trying to crawl across the open ground. 5 teams remain. 8 eliminations for APG as well on this match. They've only got 2 remaining.
Way.
Doran. No, you
Come
can't.
on.
You gotta stop, man. You've got to. You cannot be allowed to do stuff like this. Kraken has to hit the tank. They can't really take free fights here. Doran steps up for another. No,
you're
Doran.
crazy.
You can't
You're
do
crazy.
this. You can't do this. This is PMGC. It's not allowed. Someone put him to bed. It's his bedtime.
Oh.
Surely he's out of this game.
This
No,
guy's
Doran! Stop it! Go down to the Giant Slayer. What is this man doing? He is absolutely crazy.
Oh, dear me. Doran will not let you get a foot in towards this circle. A 1v4 into a 1v3. This is magic on the main stage. We talked about rabbits out of a hat, but right now, Doran's making this look easy. Gets up to the wall as well. Probably
Come on,
should
son.
go down to this nade, though, but goodness me, what a game it's been from him.
Okay. Oh my days. It looks like the nightmare's ended though. And now we're up to the hilltops. APG on 2 players alive. They've got a lot, but it's D+ again in this late game on a military island circle. They find top, and now they're looking for Ziol around the corner as well. 3rd place guaranteed for APG at least. That will put them over 150. Or maybe not quite. If they can get another Elim, that's what they'll be looking for. But still very, very close. Very comfortable to be in the top 3. Our first team to really, truly lock it down towards those spots. D+ want to join them, though. And with a chicken dinner, you think that they might be able to. A Reject, again, in a late game circle. 6 Elims. I mean, it's almost more important for Reject than anybody else right now.
It absolutely is. For Reject, they want the chicken dinner, but they got 2 big dogs in the lobby, and right now they're the Chihuahuas. Let's see if they can make it happen versus the best of them. Ziol takes some shots off and towards the distance. They do have the low ground to play at the moment, do Reject. They have vehicles as well, which is the main thing, but D+ continues to send nades their way, keep them backed off from their position. D+ looking to fight out for those bragging rights at the top of the tables.
I mean, Reject have the center of the circle, though. D+ are sure they've got a higher ground position, they've got an angle, but they're going to have to move. The point's denied from APG.
It's mean.
They actually picked up the res in order to deny an extra point there, which is kind of nasty. To the blue zone it goes, but now D+ versus Reject. Already a good game for Reject, but they desperately need this chicken dinner to stay alive in this tournament, to jump up towards that 11th place bubble. Nate's going a little bit long onto Ragey. Downhill, it's always a little bit tougher.
If a Reject, they need the chicken dinner. Like you say, it's imperative that they get it. It's not a case of, oh, it would be nice for Reject to have a chicken dinner. At this point in time, it is a case of it's required. It is a necessary procedure for Reject to grab a chicken dinner here, to finish out this game and give them that chance. Because I think even with a chicken dinner here, it doesn't take them out from the bottom 5. But it will be the first stepping stone for them.
D+ starting to run a little bit lower on those nades. You can see they've only got 3 remaining. Ragey cooking another. If he finds a knock, this would be huge. The Molotov, probably a wiser decision. Force Ragey off of the tree. The question is, does it land on spot? It definitely did. Look at that damage tick away. He has to fall all the way back to the vehicle. That's going to be a lot easier for D+ to go on towards. They know the damage is there, and they have to go over the top now. Spray down towards Divine. D+ trying to stop Reject from getting on in. And Ragey looks for the spray down, a wild rollout here, and Apollo finds it. Osal is down. They do not find the backlines. They haven't got a knock yet, and there's another one onto Fabian. D+ is starting to fall blank. It's now 3v2. Reject have the inside of the circle. They are desperately climbing towards those tables, towards that 11th place, but Ragey will finally go down to the nade. One more left. Look on for Apollo. Nolbu with the chance here, and it's going short of the tree trunk.
Divine's down, leaving it all down to Apollo in a 1v2. An impossible task ahead of him. Pulls the pin on the grenade. Reject looking to reject defeat here in the face of impossible odds.
No,
it's not
they
meant
can't
to
quite
be.
do it. Oh no, they can't get all the way across the line. D+, take it away from them. Still not a smile in sight. They are so cool, calm, and collected. Into the top 3 with them. They looked pretty solid before. Now even more so, but Reject in tatters. A lot of points, but is it enough?
Absolutely not. I think for Reject, they did get some of the flushes towards the end there. 6 points total. You can see that they are absolutely dismayed about that one. But again, it is a little further down on this journey for them, because it's a long way coming that they need to go to get out from that bottom 5, but they're getting some successes today. There's still 3 more matches to make it happen, but Reject historically, those Miramars haven't been fantastical for them. I can only hope that they can continue here, John, with these strong performances. But for D+, it is another big game in the pocket.
And with that insane chicken dinner, I think D+ might have just secured their position to the grand finals. And how do they win this game, Max? Back against the wall, so little time left. They had to hit those knocks, crazy rotation on the end, but then Chips just said, nah, I'm gonna hit these shots, and they shut Reject down. What a game.
Oh wait, D+1? I was just looking at Dorian the entire time. I thought he won. No, but genuinely for D+, such a good game, playing this high ground position for a majority of this game, right, Niptura, just having so much control on the entirety of this lobby. And again, what did we say the last game? This is why you hold on to your utility. Those nades made that transition from high ground to low ground so much smoother for D+. And even then, it wasn't easy to execute as Chips. He's popping off and he's back to being MVP of the game for sure.
Yeah, and really, really nice stuff coming in from them. The control, what we saw there. Even, you know, IC being able to push up earlier on in the game. I didn't hate the push. It was a good idea. It was pretty well executed, but that third party just helped DK to just overrun them and get rid of that threat. And after that, nobody really looked at them very much. So really love to see that coming in from them. Talking about utility, though, Max, I do want to just point out the smokes for Rejects looked really, really good, actually. They were having, they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and they were doing it as much as possible. I really liked the smokes coming out from them. It just gave them a little bit more space to work with and just really effectively blocked out DK sightlines.
Yeah, as Blank said, you know, another team now that became a Nimbus cloud. It was not Dorian, it was the entirety of Reject. I really enjoy that one. But no, Reject, as you said, really good piece of utility, keeping them safe from the off angles of APG. And one good point spotted out by John during this game, actually APG going for a revive to then deny just takes the extra point out of the equation. It's a small thing, but again, when you're competing for top 3, that can really have such a big impact that could really have a devastating effect on the leaderboards.
I mean, we saw last year, right? Last year's PMGC was decided by just 1 point, right? So, I mean, anything you could possibly do, you got to pull all the stops out right here. By the way, nice little setup there on the bridge from GS. That shut down Tianbuff, and with that one, I think they are completely out of this match, man. But you know what? I finally figured out what Chips, kind of Chips is, Max, man. It's Ice Chips.
What is he?
That man's cold, dude. So cold towards the end. I kid you not. Ice water in his veins. When it comes down to like those super clutch moments, he shows that, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Beautifully done there.
It really is just levels of rivalry like Sanji and Zoro in One Piece. They're just like, I'm MVP, no, I'm MVP. I love that kind of storyline. Someone needs to make an edit on Instagram. That will pop off, I'm telling you that much, but it would be great. But no,
edit of this.
Though. 1, the 2. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, no, Malo, I feel you, bro. I would do the same thing if I were you.
Oh, you know what I love though? That's insane. This is insane. But you know what I love? It's like, listen, guys, Falcons, it wasn't you. It was just Doran, because he turns around and goes down goats the exact same way. Doran, man. What an MVP coming in here, Max.
I can just hear Narvalo say, "Oh, bordel," right after that happened. There's the pure French anger coming out. But another military island, hot juice. Like, are we going to get a third one? Okay.
Bring it back. Let's go.
Hey,
one
do it
more
again.
time.
Oh, my. I can't even break down rotations here, but of course, teams that go on the bridge rotations early on are going to be given a significant advantage. D+ here, though, taking it a bit slower, able to play the northern edge instead and pushing away Reject. The Reject, good plan from them, Niptura. Respectful. We don't want to take an early game fight and take an early casualty. That's really going to hinder our chances for a win. But everyone's fighting, and D+, big chilling. We got the high ground.
You know
No one's
what? I
gonna
got a
take it away.
question.
This is easy pickings.
Tur, I got a question
Yes.
for you, right?
Yes.
When it comes
Yes.
to Reject, all right, would you want another military base finish? Right? And the reason why I asked that is because back-to-back militaries, they put up some decent points, right? But the problem is Loops put up 9 eliminations. You can see it right there. And that, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, the difference was 23 points. So even though they put up 14, they only move up 5. So if you're Reject, do you even want to go military again?
You know what? I actually wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all, because I think it would be an interesting thing, because we see D+ get the back-to-back. We see Rejects get a back-to-back top 2, right? So I'm very interested to see if it does go there again, how they're going to play it. My only concern would be other teams now are going to be trying to do something different, so they're not predictable, and that might put RC in a little bit of a disadvantage.
Just drop there at that point, you know. just compete with APG, you know, for the memes, just send it. But no, looking at the leaderboards, I feel like we have to seal the fate of some teams here, Hot Jukes. Team Secret, 0 points.
Oh,
Tiamba, 0 points. For me, game over. For me, those teams, you're going home after this. I don't see a comeback. Not only mathematically speaking, but also in terms of their presence on the battlegrounds. It's just, we haven't seen anything. So for me, Team Secret, Tiamba, it's game over.
I agree. I agree 100%. And that's going to mix things up for sure, right? Because right now we're going to have 2 teams for sure that we know are not going to make it to that last chance stage. And guess what, Neptura? That means they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that is so true, especially when you go, it's the final Erangel, we can just go all for it. It's the, and you know, game 6 as well, it's going to be the final game, we can just go all out. And yeah, as we look at these leaderboards, there's reason to do that, right? The top 3 looking pretty solid, maybe down to 6th place could really just try and snatch that 3rd place away from GOAT, but it's looking like the first 2 now kind of have run away with it, Max.
I'm looking at the bottom of the leaderboards in particular here. Reject 65 points. They started off the day with 38, man. They're having their best day so far by a significant margin too, and they're just shy of pushing themselves finally out of the bottom 5, Hot Jukes. But they need to keep going. They can't stop now. Reject, if we want to see one Japanese team in the finals, it can only be them.
Well, let's see if it's going to be, but get your popcorn ready. We're going to be right back after this break.
Ingin meloloskan tim inilah ke grand final karena 2 kali PMGC kita nggak loloskan.
The emotion driving me is like probably a bit of regret. We were so close, especially in the last games. We were top 1 and then we dropped down to top 3.
이제 저희가 작년 세계대회 우승했던 것만큼 압박도 있고
去年はなかなか世界大会優勝、PMG を優勝ということもあって、モチベーションがなかなか保てずにいて、PMGC に出場することすらできなかったんですけど。
I would definitely say I'm coming back for redemption this time. I believe this is my moment to win PMGC this year. I have a really good team. We prepared really well. So if there's a chance to win it, I think this is it.
쉽다고는 생각 안 하는데 저희가 또 PMGC에 왔으니까 저희가 열심히 하고 또 실수하지 않으면은 우승할 수 있다고 생각해요.
Aku senang banget sih di saat ini kita bisa kembali lagi di PMGC yang dimana kita salah satu tim satu-satunya Indonesia yang bermain di sini. 私たちはこれまでにも世界の舞台で強烈なデビューを飾り、このチームがどれほどの実力を持っているかを証明しました。チームメイトを信じていますし、再びやり遂げられると本気で思っています。
I would say I want people to remember that I always tried hard and no matter what the result, I showed up in a good way.
Sekarang waktunya kita untuk bawa piala ke Indonesia lagi. 目標はシンプルです。グランドファイナルに進出し、世界タイトルを取ること。今回は PMGCトロフィーを持ち帰ります。
저희가 더 열심히 해서 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
We're getting closer to find out which 3 teams will be going to the finals from Group Green and which 5 teams will be eliminated and which 8 teams are going to go to last chance. I'm joined by none other than Snape from Alter Ego. Alter Ego currently not having the best performing day in comparison to what we've seen in the past 2 days. For this squad, what is the plan for the remaining 3 matches to make sure that you can actually get up there in the top 3?
Oke, Snip, kalau kita lihat performa AE sekarang tidaklah begitu yang seperti kita lihat dari hari-hari kemarin. Ya, apa rencana AE dan juga Snip buat sisa 3 game lagi nih?
Paling dari kita karena 3 game sebelumnya nggak berjalan baik. Game 3 selanjutnya mungkin kita harus menjaga dari kayak mentalitas dari setiap individu ya. Jadi kayak dari kepercayaan diri sama semangat tuh harus yang kayak ya kayak biasa aja lah. Yang kayak ya tetap harus percaya diri sih. Itu paling dari sisa 3 matchnya. Kalau dari segi makro nggak begitu banyak berubah lah kalau dari kita.
Yeah, I mean, we not really perform on the first 3 match. I think for the last remaining 3 match, it's the game of like mentality. I think for each individual, they still need to like prepare their mentality. They need to be that confident. It's because right now it's not about macro, it's not about micro, it's about the mentality itself. So we're looking forward for the next 3 game.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that that mentality is going to shine through. I'm pretty sure all of Indonesia is going to be hoping for that. Thank you so much, Terima Kasih. And I have none other than Rafinha here from Loops Esports. It feels like history is currently repeating itself. Last year at PMGC, you were able to qualify to last chance via 11th place. Right now, you are in 11th place as well. How will you be approaching the last 3 games to make sure you can make it to last chance?
Então, ano passado, no PMGC, vocês acabaram classificando para o Last Chance em 11º lugar de novo. E agora vocês estão no mesmo lugar. Então, como é que vocês vão fazer esse approach para o próximo jogo, para os 3 últimos jogos finais?
Bom, a gente está aplicando hoje aquilo que foi planejado nos 2 primeiros dias. E a gente vai tentar manter essa pegada. Começamos muito bem as 3 primeiras partidas. Então é manter e o top 3 ainda é uma realidade. Então continuar mirando sempre no topo. E é isso, atingiremos.
So we would continue to apply all the knowledge that we have in the game, and we were planning for the two days. But we are really happy. We started with like 3 very good matches, and we are happy. We are aiming for the top 3, and yes.
Hopefully that's going to be the case because good thing you had those 3 matches. You have had a resurgence from Reject. You see OG as well currently playing with nothing to lose. Those teams are 18 and 19 points away from you. In the last 3 games, do you think that Reject or OG can catch you?
Então, a OG e a Reject estão bem próximos de vocês, né? Estão ali entre os 19 e 18 pontos. Você acha que eles conseguem pegar vocês?
Never.
Ooh, no need for translation on that one. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The final 3 games of Group Green are coming to you.
Never. That's what I like to hear right there. That is how you do it. I'll tell you what, though, from never to always, man. We got to show love to the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to be the one and outplay the rest on the global stage. I'll tell you what, Loops need to apply all that knowledge and then some if they want to make it into the top 3, because mathematically it's still possible, right, with what we have left today. But it's going to require a massive game here and now, because these teams in the mid
So I'm still waiting for his moment. He was, for a time, right, the new generation of top tier players from Americas, and unfortunately ever since the end of last year we haven't really seen that kind of rise to fame and glory from Ratterboy. But I believe, Loops, you know what, there's still time, there's still 3 matches, there's still an opportunity for them to make that ascent.
Yeah, let's see if they can make that ascent coming up soon. But you know what, we heard close for sure. I think that we're going to see these next matches heat up like crazy, because I mean, every single one of these teams, they don't want to go to last chance, right? They want to make it into those finals. So how much percentage do you think we're going to see like the gameplay level up in these last 3 matches? What do you think?
I think 50%.
Cool.
I think 50%. It is a big increase, because I think these teams are kind of holding out just a little bit, but they're definitely doing a lot here already. There's not that much holding back. There's just a little bit, but I think just the intensity from everybody is going to make this a really interesting last few games, especially if we look at the 4th to 6th place, or even 4th to 8th, really, actually, because IC are at 104. In 8th place is Falcons with 96. That's less than 10 points away from a 4th place position for Falcons. So all of those teams in between there definitely going to be bringing in the heat in this next game.
I mean, if I can bring up a negative point here, it's Alter Ego. I'm sorry, they had such a banger performance yesterday. There's nothing to show for it today. Really, this team just kind of disappeared. They've had some decent entry points and stuff, but when it comes to fights, I mean, look at this replay. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they're just getting completely squashed, literally, by the competition. And there's still time to make up for that maybe rough start of the day, unlike Doran, who clearly has redeemed everything here for his squad. But Alter Ego here, Hotchukes, this is the team that I need to see something from this next game, because otherwise, with how performant and consistent the top teams like APG and D+ currently are today, it's going to be tough to make that comeback.
For sure. I'm going to say it right here and now. I think we got 1 slot left available, and I think that's the 3rd place position with GOAT. Yeah, I mean, D+ have 139. They're playing so well. Alpha Gaming, they're putting up points regardless of the situation. I just think it's too tough to catch up with how chaotic these last 3 matches are going to be. That's in my opinion, you know? So, man, we just see the level up, right, towards these last game. And we just saw Doran, 7 eliminations all by himself. I'm going to tell you, if the Wolves somehow pull it out here and steal that 3rd spot away from GOAT, it's going to be 100% due to that one particular play. I mean, that's a huge difference maker right here, Max.
Could be. I'm actually, you know what? I want to talk about Doran real quick. The fact that we've had so many top tier players from Romania in the past, like, I'm sure some people are going to remember Eastern Stars. I'm sure that's going to be a callback for some people. And you had Octavian, you had Kapahala, all those guys. And now the one player from that region, Niptura, from Romania, that still stands strong and is able to perform globally from Romania is Doran. You would have told me like years ago, I would have said there's no way, but no, he is the guy who stood up and is still here to this day.
Gosh, that's just a blast from the past. You took me back 2-3 years there with some of those names, Max. But yeah, Doran, it's so nice to see a player stand out even back then, continuing to do his thing. He's still on top. He still got it. It's really, really nice to see, especially at this level, right? PMGC, and you're able to get 7 eliminations on your own. 1v7 in PMGC is insane.
Hey, by the way, you're talking about Romania, Texas, right? Pretty sure.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We
For
claim
the
him now,
NA
baby.
team.
He's on the Wolves. He's rocking that USA flag. That's 100% American. I love to see that. I love to see those plays, and you know, it's these crazy moments, these clutch moments that will just revitalize a squad. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, when you get in these high pressure situations, sometimes you need someone to make it happen. Hey, for D+, it's Chips in my eyes, right? Because anytime the going gets tough, you got to hit those hard peaks, that clutch shot. He's doing it for the squad. So I mean, the fact that D+ has Chips and Nobu going crazy too, man. I mean, it's they're looking full steam ahead to make it to the finals. I'm a lock them in.
While we have a bit of time, I'm trying to think right now. Who would be the group green MVP? Like, you got so many contenders. Of course, Chips.
Ooh, that's a good
Nobu.
question.
You got Top for APG. Goat had some step-up players. Rosemary had some great games yesterday. Like, who would be the one to claim that one? I think it's really close, way closer than what we had during Gauntlet, right? It showed that we kind of had a good inkling of who it would be, but right now, I'm not sure.
I think it's gonna be Chips, to be honest, and the reason I say that is because he was daily MVP yesterday. Was he? Yes. Yes, he was. And then today, we've also had a game from him where he was also MVP of that game, whereas Top has not. So Top was MVP day one, but the performance overall from Top has not been as standout as Chips continues to do. And so I think it is probably gonna Chips be just inching that one over the rest of the lobby.
That's a good pick. Who do you think, Pubg?
I think that's pretty close. I think it's pretty close right there. I think Alpha is not done yet because I think we saw them do that split in Rondo. That made me hype because I was like, you know what? Yeah, if you're gonna mix things up, you really only need one good game if you're Alpha Gaming to lock yourself in, right? The fact that they did that split and they sent Top, like one of their top fraggers out there to try to get some eliminations, I thought was a brilliant play. I think that if they get a normal set, there's no pressure at all on this squad, as opposed to everybody else, pretty much for the most part, Max.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I just cheated a little bit. I just looked. It's currently in order top 5 MVPs for day 1, day 2, not day 3. But it was Top, Nolbu, Rosemary, Falak, and then Chips. So Chips actually way lower than I expected him, Nipcho. That's kind of a surprise. Wow.
I'm so surprised by that, but I suppose MVP for the team maybe isn't MVP for the lobby, right? He's doing things for the team, but maybe the other guys are just out eclipsing him just that little bit more.
Well, man, now is the time, folks. You gotta put up some points right here, right now. It's the grassy lands of Erangel for the final time today. John, Blank, who's gonna win this one? Tell me, I wanna know.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like Doran's gonna win this one. I don't know who he's playing for or whatever. I'm all about him, right? That seems to be the case. He could just take on the entire world on his lonesome. Wow, wow, wow. What a monumental achievement in that last game. But all jokes aside, it's definitely Team Secret winning.
Do you think Team Secret's getting a win here?
100%. Every time, it's Team Secret. No doubt in my mind.
Maybe another Sosnovka circle, potentially. That could be certainly interesting. I think the players probably hate it, though. But yeah, we are getting another game. Probably back to normality, maybe, I hope. In terms of the circle, 2 games in a row that favored over towards Reject, and their immediate rotate across towards Sosnovka was very much needed for them to try and get themselves out from the bottom 5. I think that they are very lucky that they got the double Sosnovka, but they also played it fairly well to get towards 2 endgame finishes. Not quite the chicken dinner, though. Definitely a possibility on that last match, but not quite able to pull it off. The squad's out nice and early, though, and the circle is far east. So no worries on that Sosnovka finish this time around. Alter Ego get to head up towards that north side around the Pubg mansion split, so they should have a decent start in this game.
Yeah, that east side will be the focus now, as they send it on in. Nicely dropping down here. No roadblocks around those bridges. Now, we were looking a lot at the Falcons over that last match, right? And Doran was looking at him too. But the thing that they really adjusted in those last two matches was the speed at which they rotated in the start of the match, right? Away from Pachinki. They have to rotate again this match. The question is, will it be as fast without the pressure of a military circle?
To be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless something has drastically changed within the calling structure of the team, I don't think it's going to be a fast rotate from them. I think that the odd thing for the Falcons is how are they going to bounce back after that last game? Getting 1v4'd is never a good feeling, even in your games at home. It feels even worse on a global stage. So I do think for the Falcons, they might be reeling from that. And again, it's unfortunate because I think the other games of the day were pretty good, honestly, and fairly successful. And even that rotate there was not the incorrect decision. And I'm hoping it doesn't set up a mental block for them going forward, because it certainly could do. I think for the Wolves, that game might have cleared those heads though, right? That's the big thing. You could be happy with how Doran performed there and hope to do him proud in this game.
I mean, the difficulty though for all of those teams is that third place is still moving, and GOAT on 112 has a little bit of a lead. We were saying it before, right, that APG and DK at this point, if they're able to get 10 more points in today's matches, they've got 3 matches to do just that. They're locked in. They're pretty much locked in already. It is a question of who's going to join them. And all the way down to the Falcons have a really solid chance of getting there, right? With a good game, they're on top of that pack. From 112 down to 96, I mean, you know, it's not easy, but a 16-point gap can be made up fairly quickly if you're able to get into those late games.
GOAT's hold is tenuous, to say the least, over in third place. D+ being 10 points behind Alpha Gaming is certainly not something I would have predicted after the end of day 1, but yeah, here we are, which is very cool to see, honestly. The reigning champions having some of those life signs come back into effect as D+ do rotate straight away from Rozhok. They get a nice east side start here for them. Towards the center of the circle as well, they should be able to get towards. But you're right, there is a lot of teams towards the middle of the pack, pretty much from 8th upwards, that can challenge for that third place. Though at any moment, there is this case that any moment GOAT could change that. Because if GOAT get a 20-point game in any of our next 3 matches, it does become very hard to catch up to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still just out of reach to really say who our top 3 are looking likely to be. We know who 2 of them are very likely to be, but yeah, absolutely. And then down towards 11th place as well, there is a bit of danger there. It's in general less likely that they'll find those big 20-pointers, but it's definitely possible, right? From probably, I mean, it would be difficult for OG and Reject to make it, but it's still just sort of on the doorstep. But certainly GS have a chance. Loops, GS, Gen G, sorry, and 97G, they're sort of in this state of flux right now, with GS definitely behind that pack. But whose spot would they take with a big game? That remains to be seen.
Let's take a look at the center of the circle at the moment. 9Z coming in from Yasnaya. They do have an outpost down towards the south side, scouting. D+ also moving their way in. Reject so far have done a fairly good job to start moving up towards the top side of the middle of the lobby, let's say, at least not the top side at all. But currently in 13th place. They're still a hefty 18 points behind though, and that again, there's a lot of points to be gained. It does require Loops to not have a great game either. So for Reject, they just have to keep pushing all day. For GS, it's a little bit of an easier story, from 71 up to 83, and we've seen GS make some fairly decent maneuvers. It's still feeling hit or miss with that squad. For OG, only 1 point behind Reject. I think OG is the cutoff of teams that are able to get in towards last chance here, being at 64 points. But again, that is another strong set of 3 games for that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very, very difficult. Again, we were thinking about that bubble towards the lower end being somewhere around the 90s, maybe low 90s, could be pushing up a little bit, especially given where we sit right now. It is very, very difficult to imagine that Tiamba are going to be able to get 40 points in 3 matches. And for Team Secret, 70 points, no. It's impossible. Even though they're going to win the next 3 matches back to back. You're just not, it's just not happening. Imagine, you get 3 20-point games back to back and you still don't even qualify for last chance.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, you'd be on
exactly.
81. Yeah, so it's rough. It's definitely rough. I think Team Secret is the only team that is completely counted out here. But even for Tiamba, if they go down here, then they're also counted out.
Pretty much. That would be nasty news for Tiamba. Alter Ego really want these points though. You can see where they are on the tables right now. 5th place. And they were up in 3rd. They've been up in 2nd as well. They've been dancing around that top bubble. But for now, they're in 5th with a team 1 point ahead of them, a team 1 point behind them, and plenty more behind that who would be all too willing to usurp the spot and take some of that prize money and the all-important ticket to the finals. Goats moving in on the southwest side with APG behind them. The circle goes back out towards that western side.
For Erangel here, this is our last Erangel of Group Green. It is also the last chance to get stable points and more so stabilize your position in the leaderboard. I think if you head over towards Miramar, as we've seen multiple times, some of those circles are so hectic. And the big thing about Miramar is not the fact that it can't be played well, but you get towards those end games where the circle can really only support 5 teams at most, and that's around about stage 6, stage 7. So there's less chance of you, unlike Erangel, where you get to stage 6, stage 7, you can have like 8 or 9 teams in those circles, which gives a lot more chance to our squads to have a strong finish there. But you might just be cut out by luck, essentially, in Miramar, whether you can make it or not. You need to make sure now on this last Erangel that you secure that position and make it a little bit easier for yourself, basically giving yourself a buffer going in towards Miramar. That's most important for GOAT right now because they already have a small lead. They could extend that out further. Their life becomes so much easier on Miramar because they can just play it slow.
Yeah, it's potential to be a little bit more relaxed there. You'd love to see it. You do not want that pressure of knowing, oh, we need to get like a 17 elim game here to do something on these tables, etc. It's really nerve-wracking, and you do not want that on your conscience. Teams are starting to line up very, very linear down the center of this circle blank. That Yaz field presence being really felt on that west side. Everyone wants access to the mentioned fields if it goes northeast. It does start to splay out down towards Farm, down towards Milter, with that lumber yard on the southeast side as well. But on the north side, it's very much along the road south of Yasnaya.
Team Secret do find loops. That's a big deal, especially for the 11th place position. Rafina, lucky to get away with his life there. I'm surprised he didn't find that final shot, but they will look to see if they can finish off some more. You have to hit that, finally.
Oh, 2 of his teammates sending over his head. Lovely bit of stunt driving there coming through from Team Secret. Even if they can't make the points work, they'll try and look pretty doing it. And they do manage to get, a decent chunk out of loops and very likely to pick up another point at least. So well done them. Congratulations.
Do better next year. The big thing is that getting 2 players out from 11th place, the 11th place team, is actually a massive deal here for Reject as well as OG. Stops Loops from progressing too much and gives yet again another chance for both those teams to put up some strong points here. And with OG being able to play up towards the north side, play in heaven, this is a really strong chance for them to get a good game on here.
Absolutely. They need to regroup properly, though. If they don't find it in time, teams will start to crunch in. Goat moving in from the southwest side with the Falcons out to their west. Wolves on the northwest of this still D+ ahead of them. Goat do have a challenge here. They don't really have too many options, and Gen G already finding their way in The building that Killer Joe was trying to scout out. Papa Supermassive. I mean, you can't stop off there, really. It's too close to the edge of the circle. Want to get a little bit further. The two from Loops, GS, everybody's sending now.
You've got to do. I mean, this is an awkward area of the map to be playing in. Still have mentioned in play, no one really wants to go for that just yet. They're waiting for the circle to make a true decision on where it's finishing. D Plus just sends center. They're quite happy with that one to play in that position. Again, Alpha Gaming down towards that southeast side, playing it more towards the edge here. They will have to sweep through teams, but it's a team that has the capability to do that massively.
No one getting fully stuck into a fight just yet. But I mean, it is APG really on this eastern side. That sweep through, maybe. Papa Supermassive there as well. Probably the first team to face. Alter Ego potentially around this prison mound. Tianba, hey, they still got 4 players alive. You know, they're fine. They're doing okay. They can still do it, I believe. Well, don't even know if I believe myself on that one.
You
are
Captain optimistic today, honestly.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Loops trying to move on through and actually finding an opener to Papa Supermassive.
Yeah, 1 point. That's 2 players is good. Definitely good. But Papa Supermassive losing a player there to a 2-man team is pretty rough. Playing alongside this ditch. Sits around the dead trees. It's a okay position. Put it that way. Requires smokes though to keep teams off your back. Also easily crashable. Your outpost as well is also gone due to loops, which does make it a bit more awkward. Waiting for stage 4 now to pop. Wolves on the northwest. 102 points after that game. True heroes performance from Doran to sit them there.
I mean, I'm surprised that the teams have managed to compact themselves into this area. I mean, the blue zone isn't quite fully upon APG, and maybe that's going to be the go time. But APG can't find the shots, and it's actually Tianba to draw first on that engagement. And Nate over the top is huge, gets the flush, and another knock to APG. The circle sends all the way down to the southwest, so OG are going to have to move. Can't play that Evan combat anymore. This is big news for IC, and for GOAT, and for Falcons, and maybe even for Reject.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, Reject being able to move him from that south side's massive. Also, big chance here now for D Plus to get ahead, right? Get first place. First place over in PMGC 2024. Now looking to top the tables here in Group Green. Will be a great marker for what's to come from this South Korean squad. But yeah, you're right. For Gen G, Inner Circle, Reject, this is all very promising on this next circle.
I mean, it's kind of nastiest, I think, for maybe GS in this scenario. Who are closest to chasing down. Well, I mean, they're trying to get away from this hilltop, but Alter Ego actually sent up towards this fight, right? They're losing all of their players now. Over towards just Alva now remaining. That's not friendly. That's not fun.
Yeah, I meant more as in, like, why is Tianba suddenly insane at the game? Like, not why are they bad? Because this is crazy. They've just taken down a lot of the tough parts of the lobby here pretty succinctly, leaving Alter Ego, who were challenging for a 3rd place position, now with just 1. And Alva, I don't think he survives here, and he does not.
No. They're done and dusted. 5th place at the end of this match with 2 Miramars left to play. I mean, they're just going to hope that GOAT and IC go down as well, aren't they? And the Wolves. I mean, and actually half the lobby. It would be great for Alter Ego if you could all just, you know, stop playing right now. They'd love that.
I mean, I think there has been a little bit of lackluster performance from Alter Ego today, but fair enough as well, where you look at those circles, it's been really rough. Finally get to play a decent one, and it's very open. It's a hard rotate for them too. They get caught off towards prison with 2 teams playing around that location. 2 teams, which I might add, have basically nothing to lose here as well, with Team Secret and Tianba playing extremely aggressive.
There's a real firecracker about to pop off, I'm sure, there. But GS are crashing. Two teams chasing for that 11th place bubble. GS moving down towards Sarah, but he has got that outpost to reposition away back towards the rest of his team. Will they be able to do so safely, securely? Reiji, though, not so lucky. Spotted on the off angle and immediately flushed away as well. And that's a point added to the tally for GS, with loops going low, down to one player. They definitely want to make this game a big one. See how far they can go.
That's an all boot striking from the northern side. But Tiamba's not done yet. The nades, pins pulled, and Team Secret looking to hit the deck here as the explosions come through very quickly. Good damage will find one. Xeris should go down to the splash damage there, and does. Tiamba decided that they can play PUBG Mobile finally.
Yeah, they've been allowed to open their eyes, it seems, on this one. A nice pick up there. Wolves trying to make the dash now across the open ground. OG trying to stop them. And they have got a beautiful line up there for AKOP. Doesn't quite connect for another knock, but slows the Wolves down a lot more. They've got 20 seconds to get back up and into fighting form. With the tanky getting rezzed as well, OG are on 4. They have to move 2. The question is, where do they go right now, Blank? It's open area to the north of Shelter, to the north and the west of Mansion.
Wolves who need to make their way out, but like you say, they are surrounded on both sides here. Falcons looking for a little bit of redemption from that last match too, as Alpha Gaming takes this opportunity just to swing through. They see the smokes down over towards 9. See that swing straight back around again. Worth their time trying to pick that one up. I think for Wolves this is an extremely difficult run out. They are pincered at the moment.
Certainly are. Tiamba taking down Papa Supermassive as well. They take a knock. Oh, that's all the way out the back, actually. So Bond might actually be a full casualty. Wolves crashing across the road. The Falcons were trying to make their life hard, and that is going to continue to be the case as Wolves are getting torn apart, crashing into OG. It's not friendly. I think it's just Bat now remaining. Meanwhile, in the picture-in-picture, the south side is getting real hot between Reject and GS. Those two teams looking to chase for that 11th place bubble. I don't quite know who's in the lead right now, Blank, but I feel like GS might have this one. Reject taking heavy casualties.
Apollo nades his teammate, and that is it, done and dusted. 65 points now for Reject, and not much more, but GS do profit off the back of that. 4 elims on that game. Wolves down as well. Eagles will go out. It's just Baton left remaining. Good nades coming through from 9Z over towards OG as they try to cross the road.
It's a difficult crossing, certainly. I'm just looking. I just had a little chuckle. I looked at Tiamba. They've got 11 eliminations, Blank. Yeah, we're in minute 20, right? Like this. What? It's very confusing. I don't think they're going to be able to get too much further here out in the open, but they do have a position in this next circle. We'll see if they can maintain it for a little bit longer. OG also heavily suffering. This 9ZG layering the nades on in, but one nade sent back their way could be beautiful. Falcons having a tough time in the meantime as well. On the other side of it, the other flank against OG, and they find Narvalo.
I mean, Narvalo's been down for a little while now. OG do take quite a bit of damage there from the Falcons. It was instantly healed back up again. Redox does get knocked though. Ralph will have to send out to try and pick him up. Good shot there coming through from OG. Will take down Koa, and now with just Ralph remaining. This is where you want to see OG push. That's exactly what they do. Well done.
But the next move, again, they are trapped on this north side. Goat have to move as well. Do they want to try and stymie OG, or do they want to try and get closer? Remember, they're defending their 3rd place right now against IC, who have position in the circle. Okay, nice little pick out there as 9Z try and roll on up, but Tanky has other ideas. He's going to stop them dead in their tracks, look for more spray downs. Finally, a turn on the corner is there, but the rest of OG now need to pick up the slack. AKOP can't do it, but the teammates are still rallying, and a Tanky stays alive. One player now for OG to pick them back up. For 14 seconds before the zone moves, they might just be able to roll out as 3.
Really good stuff. Again, Tanky is definitely my favorite player on that squad. He is very slick with it. Some insane maneuvers from his side of things. I think he's been a thorn in the side for a fair few teams as well that maybe underestimated him. D+ though, they send across. There is shots from Gen G. I think D+ trying to finish off that fight between them and OG, but seeing their teammates getting blasted out by Gen G in the background, sees them run back towards the rest of the team. Tiamba still taking shots, but it's Gen G to do most of the work there over towards GS. For Gen G, this is a big deal for them. If they get a chicken dinner on this game, that does shoot them back up into the hundreds alongside a lot of other squads.
Oh my goodness me. It is really their time to join that fight, it seems, but GOAT are still alive, Blank. On the western side, they do have to get on in, and Inner Circle maybe a little bit more happy because they are in the circle on this next rotate. D+ with one player left standing, trying to rack up as many places as they can, but Chips out the open will be taken down, and the point goes to OG, who are now very close to GS, and they're behind Loops on 77. OG with the crash, actually, over towards Gen G's position, and one of them's knocked on the wall.
I mean, for OG, this looks a lot more aggressive. It looks good. I mean, they are trying things today, and I like it. I really do like it. A Tanky now on the side wall. WizGod has to move up in the vehicle. There is a nade sent out. It's a little bit too far, but a nice Molotov will cause damage to be sat down on the side. Nade goes a little far again from Gen G, but GS assaulting from the sidelines too.
I'm looking at GOAT crashing into IC. That's the battle for third place popping off right now in the picture-in-picture. It's really, really dangerous stuff as Gen G look at a climb, but a nade from WizGod is able to land on target. GOAT are looking to keep this crash going. IC hopping out, but can't quite find on the spray down. And there's a chime in from Tiamba, who is still alive, by the way. Oh my goodness me, there's three very important fights happening right now, Blank, all at once. As on the south side, it's GOAT who take down IC. 6 elims now, placements into 5th place. And there's still that Lone Ranger running across the open ground. No, hang on a minute. He has got his teammates still going with A-King behind him.
Tiamba getting themselves up towards the wall with 12 elims on the match, by the way. Gen G at 10, OG at 10. You can see teams are really pushing as far as they possibly can to try and get into last chance here. We are so close on the tables for 3rd place. We are so close on the tables down towards for the last chance. A Tanky finds Quick. Tiamba steps up but can't find the shots onto a Tanky.
Oh, he's dodging down there. GOAT may be onto a winner though, Black, with Gen G starting to wane. This could be the time that they solidify that 3rd place, move it out of reach for almost everyone in the lobby. Inner Circle could have been the last bastion here. OG lock in some placement points. You saw them just flick up into 12th place, but they are still short of 11th. Their game is over in 5th place here. 2 more maps to play. And an 8-point difference between them and Loops, who sit still on the bubble.
Oh, come on. That was... You shooting above him, dude. It's not that big of a drop-off. Finally gets the job done. Yeah, for GOAT, you're absolutely right in terms of maybe they can finish here. The big thing is this. 14 elims from Tiamba is extremely silly.
Oh, dear.
And does see them with a chance.
I mean, it kind of does, right? On a 85-point bubble, Tiamba on 64 when you've added in these 14 elims. I mean, that's doable. They've already guaranteed a 4th place in the placements. They're definitely going to be less than 20 points. Fewer than 20 behind that bubble going into our Miramar stage. The question is, how much further can they go? Because they're out in the blue zone, and they do need to push further forwards.
Yeah, the big thing now for GOAT is if this circle goes down towards the southwest, then I think we might have just secured our top 3. It would be a big outside chance on both our Miramars for any other teams underneath them. But if it heads up towards the northeast side, then it might still all be to play for.
We go covering that run out. Satan has the inside of the building, kind of on lock, so Tiamba not actually going to go for the push. They know they don't need to commit to going for it. It would be a placement and an elim if they can go in and find that last player for Gen G, but they can wait for him to leave instead.
It does all come down to this shift here. And it's away from them. So now Goat's life becomes a little bit more difficult. Tiamba's going to walk forward a little bit. Get a slight resupply there.
Oh. Felt dangerous there. Thought Cracker was going to peek out, take the shots, but I think the wall just covering it off. Very, very tense.
It's such open ground that Goat have to cross. But which of these players are going to take shots towards them? I think if it was a 3-man squad playing here in Mansion, Goat absolutely is in a tough time of it. But because it's 3 separate teams on the outside towards the east, I think Goat might just be able to get by because of the lack of coordination from all 3 of these teams on the other side who don't really want to be the first to peak.
I mean, the fact that they've got 3 players, though, as well, that's going to be really worrisome. They are the main team that has to move, but GS have to let their last player out. And remember, GS also chasing for that bubble. Currently on 78 points, and then you add on the placements. Blank, they're very close to already being into 11th against Loot. Another Elim, another team going down would be brilliant news for them. The smoke train's there. Goat might try and leverage that to actually stretch out themselves.
Come on, Tiamba. Now's your time to peak. Satan's just been so quiet on the inside. And it actually might let Go get up to the wall, in which case it may not have mattered the circle pushing away from either of these squads. But look how open this ground is. ESO not taking any shots either just yet. He basically smokes for Goat too.
Now the zone will close dead center. It's going to start now, and teams have to move. The smoke's lining up. Tiamba have started to push out, but stepping back into the blue zone. ESO finds a play like that. It's huge. Finding that off angle, finding a knock against Goat. That brings it into a 2v2v1 now. The res needs to come through. Tiamba, stop this res from happening at all costs. They need to find it. The smoke there covers off the other angle. Aching. Milo, where are you? You need these sprays. You need them now, or Goat are going to be back up as 3 up into the wall, and Satan is still there. He's crossing the open ground, and Kraken, he's able to find it. Satan goes low. He's been spotted. Aching with the angle on towards him. Looking to keep that spray going. And Tiamba looking at ladder up. They will get second, but they only have the 1 player to stand, and the nades from Goat over the top seal the deal, and they might have just guaranteed Goat's spot in the grand finals. What a close down on the game. Tiamba making waves, but it is the top 3 looking all the more certain.
Yeah, it's such a messy finish there coming through from those 3 teams. Saiyan does nothing, Tiamba does nothing. That's coming across from the side, because honestly that's an international mindset where, as those 3 teams there, you deal with the biggest target first in the lobby, and then you as the solos can fight against one another for the win, right? But that way everyone goes down at separate orders in low placings, and you limit yourself on elims too. I think it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one.
Yeah, it's a really, really weird ending there, but Goat with the goods.
Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up, turn it way up, turn it way up. Crank that volume, turn it way up, way up. Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up, way up. Put your city, put your fans, put your state up.
And when the going gets tough and everything is on the line, Goat pull out a chicken dinner. This could be the one that seals the deal for them and gives them that trip on over to the grand finals, Max. What a game from Goat.
I mean, it's not just a great game. This is a team, Hodrix, that dropped in Primorsk, almost a complete opposite side of the map. And they go for a quick pivot. And what stood out to me is not just that early game rotation. Their terrain knowledge was second to none this match on Erangel. They knew what position on the western side of Museum they could use in their favor and just make teams avoid them like the plague. And all the teams could see Orangutan, APG, all those western teams just did not want to get in a 200-meter radius of GOAT because that position was so damn strong. And you can see by some of the damage here from the players, Kraken, Twigs, Vic, Niptura, taking almost no damage this game because their fights were so one-sided.
Yeah, really nice show, and you're right. They went onto that western side, they got a great position, and they were just able to clear teams, just very methodical. I think that's really the name of the game so far in the Group Green stage, right, is just this methodical attitude towards the rest of the lobby. They're not going full sends, they're just taking it slow, one at a time with those timings as well. Another really good game from Go, and that is why they're in the top 3 currently.
Oh, I mean, such a clutch performance for them. And not to mention, right, that was from the top of the leaderboards, our 3rd place team. But man, this game really just showed the desperation and tenacity of our bottom squads, man. You saw Tianba go crazy with a bunch of eliminations. Whoa. OG get a bunch of eliminations. GS as well. You can see they're trying to do everything they can. It's just so difficult with this point lead from Loops, right? They're hanging on by a thread here.
They're just crawling through these games, just hoping, just one point, sir, please. That is all we want, just one extra point. And you know what? A point might just be the difference maker at the end of the day between 11th and 12th position. Who continues in the last chance and who is sent home after these next 2 matches? 2 Miramars is here to seal their fate as we still have some of these replays. But man, Museum all over the place. Oh my goodness. D plus Kia going full send onto Gen G. In my opinion, the crash was very poorly executed. Keeping chips as an off angle on a flat terrain like this for me is the wrong decision, Niptura. And then Orangutan, more opportunistic, right? Looking to go for a third party. I appreciated that play.
I did, but again, it was just a little bit too late, right? They tried to do something there on the opposite side, trying to just pincer Gen G there, but it just wasn't gonna work. The timing was way off there, but we see these rotations, Max. You're right? GOAT over in Primorsk, a complete opposite side of the map there from everybody else.
That was they had to get a lot of fuel to make that rotation. They had to loot a lot of those to make sure those cars were still in working condition. Here, playing really adamant to play these high ground positions in this spot on the map, and then they go for the side next to OP Dip. And this is the terrain knowledge I was talking about. That position they had. It's so hard for teams to breach you entering from the western side. So they just held it down, protected themselves with the cars. And you can see Orangutan. They did not want to have to deal with the side of Go. So they're like, oh, well, Museum does a fight with D+. We'll go for that instead because Go, that position is way too strong. And Go, knowing the Orangutan left, they fight IC instead in that compound. And then, boom, full control of the southern western side. Easy peasy wrap up for that chicken dinner on Goat's side.
20 points on the board. I mean, that is what they needed. Tianba put up 20 as well. I mean, you can tell they're just trying to pull out all the stops here, Niptura.
They really are. Some really good show from Tianba, but it's just a little too late, Jukes. A little too late. Just 2 games left for them to put up. I mean, we're talking about them having to put up an equal number of points in both the upcoming Miramars for them to really have a shot at the top 11, right, at going to last chance. And so that's just going to be so difficult, but hey, better late than never, I suppose. I really like what we saw from them. That's the Tianba we're used to seeing. Hopefully we can see that again in the next game.
I agree. I personally, with how chaotic I know these last 2 matches are going to be, especially the last match for sure, I think it's done and dusted for Tianba. But that just goes to say, right, if they somehow make it happen, it will be the comeback of the entire year, Max.
I mean, Reject, why 0 points? Alter Ego, why 0 points? Oh, we were having some good momentum yesterday for Alter Ego, today for Reject. No follow through on this game. It was definitely not an easy match for these teams. I do have to say, if you had to be center very early, like your Gen G, like your D+. But regardless, that momentum did not follow through. Hopefully that could be the case going into those Miramar matches, though. Congrats to Killer Joe from GOAT Team being your game MVP. 4 eliminations, very important on his fight, actually, during that push onto the Pakistani team that shall not be named. But actually, is currently in 4th position, and they are currently in the cutoff. here. They would not make it to the grand finals, just barely. We need to see a comeback from those guys.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay,
absolutely do.
Neptura, I'm gonna ask you this real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
That from GOAT to IC, that's a 25-point difference. All right. We got 2 matches left to go. We know how crazy the last match is gonna be, right? In my opinion, these teams, I'm looking at you, IC, all the way down to Wolves. You have to do something different. A regular game of PUBG Mobile isn't gonna get you in the grand finals, right?
Yes.
What would you suggest? I want to hear from both of you guys, right? What would you suggest for a team like IC, right, to have to do in order to make it into those grand finals and possibly take out GOAT?
Oh, that's a really tough answer. I don't know necessarily that they should do anything different. I think the way IC have been playing has been pretty consistent so far today. Alter Ego, I think, do need to step up and try and get more placement, more of that end game positioning, end game presence. For IC, I would say just up the ante a little bit here. Not be more careful, but just be a little bit more persistent with their plays.
Max, agree with that?
I would agree. I'm just looking at the hot drops locations right now. So GOAT have a hot drop in common in El Porto with Falcons. Now that could be a very impactful one. If GOAT go out early, that could open up the floodgates for some of these teams to do a final last-ditch effort to get in the top 3. If you're GOAT though, Hodrix, now we're going on the opposite side. No, they know they might be targeted. They can't afford to go out early. I would say you change your drop location. You go Ruins, you go Tierra Blanca, you go Campo Militar, you go Prison. For all I care, you don't take the hot drop. Otherwise, you are throwing massively. If I see it happen, GOAT, for me, I don't want to see you in the finals. Sorry, that would be the throw of a lifetime.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think that GOAT should definitely mix things up here because personally, I mean, we've seen too much esports at this point, right? I think if you're IC and AE, if you do the same thing and just try to end it up, I don't think you're making it. Like, without a doubt, there's no chance. 25 points is too big to cross. You've done this all year long, right? Why not try to get to the finals here and now? Don't even worry about last stage, right? So, last chance.
Yes.
So, if you're IC, I'm not going to say hot drop, right? I don't think you're going to hot drop, right? But no, do something to possibly camp out a rotation. You got to figure out a way to take this team out early because if they put up 5 points, I think it's over, right?
Yeah.
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 So they need
agree.
0. They need 0, right? So, I mean, honestly, if I see IC or any of these teams going down, and this is how I feel about it, right? I don't even want to see you in the grand finals. I don't. Like, I hate it. It's the worst thing ever. You gotta do something different, right? I mean, if this was PMSL, you don't want to, like, you know, upset other teams, fine. But this is where the big money is on the line. Come on.
Okay, chat. We're sorry. He's very passionate right now. Okay, he's a bit angsty. Okay, just he'll relax after this game. Don't worry.
Yes, it'll be fine. Yeah. It's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine for GOAT if they put up 5 points. I'll tell you that right now.
Calm down, Let us talk, okay? So it's too much. We need to hold him back. Oh my goodness. But you know what, Niptra? I think that, like, genuinely to have a bit of a conversation on what Hodrix is talking about. Do you want to go for the hot drop and take that risk? I would not recommend it.
No.
I just don't want to see a full squad out of those teams that are competing for top 3 get towards the late stage, circle 5, 6, and just play hyper passive. Placement points aren't going to cut it. You need to frag out, and late game, we need to see some strong presence here on these Miramar matches.
We do, and I think it's for those 3 teams in particular, right? GOAT, Inner Circle, and Alter Ego. Those 3 teams in particular have a very similar playstyle when it comes to the late game. They play mid to edge. So you're going to see all 3 of those teams actually on the edge of the circle trying to farm out other teams and spread and split in the end game. If one of those teams can catch GOAT early before they do that, or in that push to go split on the edge,